Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a quick look here to Avalanche, double check a few things. We can see we're pulling back, of course, as per usual. When things get overextended, this happens. But more importantly, we can see Bitcoin pulling back from that upper $88,000 range to like the low to mid 86K. That's natural for that to happen. So this little area here that we're thinking about, 2175, talked about this yesterday. That's the local high, a decent area of consideration for a long position there. Obviously, you want to maybe consider just being patient and waiting due to the fact that Bitcoin may be making its way towards its CME gap at the 85K range. If that were to happen, I do think AVAX has potential to pull back a little bit further there. Let's take a look here at liquidation, kind of see what's going on, because this really helps us understand incentive for the whales. There's a huge amount of support, but also liquidation at the low $21 mark. So that seems like a very logical place for the price action to continue if Bitcoin loses its support of 86,800, right in that range, about 87K. We can see this here as a pretty heavy concentration. From a macro perspective, you can kind of see that's about $250 million right at $21. So that's a pretty significant area of consideration, but there's no doubt that liquidation delta is telling us we're still very bullish. There is no reason to short into this. If you're going to do anything, you wait for a lower price point to take a long. You don't necessarily want to try to short down to that. Now, it sounds probably contradictory because we have a short open with Bitcoin, but that's a totally different beast all in its own. I feel like we're starting to see a power of three. The price action due to pull back here, we lose this mid 86K range, and filling that CME gap for a bounce from there makes a lot of sense. So how does that factor into AVAX? Well, AVAX is performing tremendously better than Bitcoin, and the same thing you could say with conversely to the rest of the market. So that leads me to believe we may not see that huge of a pullback, but I would recommend to be safe, averaging into your position. Maybe consider a small position at 2175 if that level is retested, and then secondary to that, maybe in the low to mid $20 range as a secondary entry, because there's still a significant fair value gap between 1980 and about 2115. From a daily overview here, though, this is one of the few coins that's actually over 50 on the RSI, over 50 on the SMA for the moment, and effectively in really good shape, breaking its macro structure. So that's a very good sign. We look at the 4-hour time frame too. We can recognize here that we're maintaining above 50 on the RSI. That's usually a very favorable sign. While it's not like phenomenal that we're pulling back, this is very natural and actually very healthy. So it's not a bad thing at all. But MACD is diverging. We're starting to see a lot of shifts in momentum. There's a decent chance we do see this sub 2175 mark. That's just, again, kind of what we're seeing on the charts. It's not a guarantee. From the smaller time frames here, though, we can see we've lost our momentum effectively. So we're starting to see that shift, but more importantly, we're still above the cloud, which is kind of a somewhat of a smaller time frame support range. So I would say better off waiting to take a position if you're going to consider one. Me personally, I'm going to look for an entry in the $20 to $21 range, which may be a little aggressive. That may not even happen, but that's me personally. I like to wait for those scenarios that I have like 5 or 10 different alerts set up on pullbacks for a lot of altcoins right now, and I'm interested in buying some of those dips. Some, if not all of them, may or may not even occur. So you got to recognize that. I'm a bit on the conservative side, so this may not happen, but we're starting to see some early cracks in the glass there, some shifts in momentum for Bitcoin, and if this coin follows suit, which it should, it's an altcoin, it's just the way it goes, we'll probably see somewhat of a pullback. So I'm looking for somewhere in the 20 to 21 range as a good consideration for long. All right, what are your thoughts? Why don't you comment below? Let us know what you're thinking. Love to hear it. Be sure to check out what's our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I have playout charts here available for you. But more importantly, Bitunix just dropped a nice deposit reward bonus. If you use my link to register or have in the past, you're automatically eligible for this and anything in the future. So check them out. They're a really awesome exchange. No KYC or VPN required. I hope you all have a good one. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.